Okay, hello everyone. My name is Misty Varslone. I am the Director of Meetings and Special Events at the Dallas Builders Association. And I'd like to welcome you to the 2022 ARC Awards How-To Entry Prep webinar. This year we have decided to bring in a new production company for the ARC Awards. I did feel like ARC needed a little more love and a broader base of knowledge. And I knew that Team PMP was perfect for the job. Headed up by Shane and Lisa Parish. They currently handle our MXAM Awards and many association award shows across the country. This change also brings in a new entry system and judging format, and that's why this webinar is very important for you to attend. Before I bring Lisa on, I want to remind you that this is meant to be an interactive webinar. We want you to ask any questions that come up throughout today. And this will be recorded and uploaded to the ARC website for future reference. So we do ask that when you're not speaking, you mute your microphone so there's no interference. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Lisa Parish with Team PMP.
Thanks, Misty. I'm super glad to be here with all of you and to go over the new ARC Awards for 2022. We haven't made huge changes. We've just tried to make it easier and more streamlined for our entrants to be able to submit their materials and then to actually win an ARC Award. So what we're going to go over today is the process of reviewing the categories, submitting an entry, and then we're going to go in and show you how an entry will be judged so that you have that form of reference of being in the seat of the judge to understand how the information is digested, what they're looking for, and how you can put together and phrase your entries in order for the judges to understand and select you as a possible ARC winner. So on screen, you'll see we have the ARC Awards call for entries, and that is to showcase just how the process will work for this year. So the first thing I'd like to do is just go through and let you know a few things, which are the important dates. Now, as you all know, we'll be celebrating the ARC Awards on August the 20th at VOUV, so mark your calendars for that. But to let you know, the eligibility period for this year's ARC Awards, it's any project that was completed and marketed from January 1st of 2019 through the present, through our entry deadline of June 30th. So anything that had opened within that time that is open, was marketed or occupied within that time that hasn't previously won an ARC Award is eligible. Now, as we stated, the deadline is June the 30th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So that is the time when you want to submit your final materials or submit your entry on the website to be and pay your entry fees. We will be judging with a panel of judges and submitting and announcing our finalists following that. So let's just go through the format. There's a new entry process for this year. And so here's the steps to enter. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go through the categories and determine the categories that you'd like to submit, and then go online and pay go in the entry application, submit your application and pay your fees. Once you do that, the system will generate your entry number and send you an email with all the details and elements in order to put your project together. So now, before we get into that process, I just wanted to go through some of the categories so that you can see what's new for 2022. On our second page of our call for entries, just so that you're aware of it, there are definitions because we have gone through and expanded our recognition on certain elements. One, we wanted to make sure that you knew we have a new category called Best Collection, and that's defined as a group of homes by a single builder. That is, it can be in the same area, the same street, or it could just be a collection of homes that are being brought to market by that builder. We also wanted to showcase that for architectural design for a custom home, we've split the categories or subdivided those categories based on the stylings, whether it be modern, contemporary, traditional, and or transitional. And so we've defined those terms. We wanted to make sure that you could see that that's available for you so you understood that. Also, in the call for entries, we have sample entries, and we'll come back to that later. I'll show you a couple of those sample entries. But going on to our call for entries, you'll see in our first group that we have our remodeling and renovation for modelers only. Addition, bathroom remodel, kitchen remodel, primary suite, and whole house renovation. Again, within those categories, the submission requirements are going to be the team project information form, the floor plan, and 6 to 8 images. And what we say for that, the suggested images for that would be at least one before if you have it, up to 4 befores, and 6 to 8 after images. And we're going to show you some samples coming up here that'll give you an idea of what that should look like or could look like. Optional, if you have the availability to do a video tour up to 2 minutes where you would like to walk the judges through the home and point out any elements, you can put that in as an additional element to your entry. It should not be in lieu of images. The images are also very important, but it could also be an additional element. For new construction for custom home builders this year, again, we have curb appeal, kitchen, living space, primary suite, the collection, which I mentioned earlier, which is a collection of homes, our architectural design, which is best custom, or the custom home based on modern, contemporary, transitional, or traditional. We also have specialty design open to builder, remodeler, and associates. This year we have closet, landscape, media, outdoor living spaces, swimming pools, specialty rooms, wine rooms, one of my favorites, interior design, and product innovation. Now let's talk about what product innovation is intended to be. Product innovation can be anything where you're using some sort of element in your design to enhance or elevate the home or its space. So it could be phantom screens. It could be a really cool louvered outdoor patio cover. It could be some sort of really fantastic HVAC system and or air filter system that's being used in the home. Anything that you want to showcase with that, again, elevated or enhanced the home design. Also new this year, we have expanded our marketing categories. Every DBA member has something that they've marketed to consumers, whether it be their website, their social media, a video to talk about their brand, a marketing campaign, advertisements, and or use of technology. Are you using an app? Are you using any sort of virtual walkthroughs? Things of those nature that you're using to bring your business to the consumer. We want to make sure that you're recognized for those efforts. So in that instance, what would be required there would be a team information form, up to 8 images that represent that entry, and video files, the video file of the video files of the technology, and any of the social media. So those, again, if you're interested in seeing sample entries, we have those back on the previous page, and I'll touch on those shortly. Now, also, every DBA member has a person who is making it happen, either that or the company. So we have this year project managers, we have the associate of the year, the remodeler of the year, and the custom builder of the year. Make sure that you submit for these. We want to make sure you have the opportunity to be recognized for your efforts. The submission requirements for those categories are the professional achievement form, which includes a statement of 300 words of why that person or that entrant should be declared the winner, a photo of that candidate and or the team, and a video from the candidate that answers the following questions. The following questions would be: share with us your biggest challenge, your biggest success, and what you're most proud of. And we've provided to you 2 video statement samples, as long as a sample written statement to give you an idea of what the judges are looking for. So we want to make sure that you submit for those, because that is very important to get that recognition. And also new for 2022, we have our Best in Show honors. Remodeling Project of the Year, which will be chosen. You submit for this entry, but you have to submit for at least 2 entries in the remodeling categories. So you can submit within categories, the first 5 categories, 2 entries. So for instance, you could decide that you're going to put in your best bathroom, your best kitchen, or your primary suite, or if you have a whole house and a kitchen, you can choose from that. The best of, and then you submit for Best in Show recognition, and a winner will be chosen as the Remodeling Project of the Year. Now note, it needs to be the same house. It needs to be the Parish residence for best kitchen, the Parish residence for best whole house. You get the idea. And then that home will be reviewed to be determined whether or not it's the Remodeling Project of the Year. Now, same idea goes for our custom home of the year. Custom homes that inspire or exemplify the best of all projects submitted. At least 2 entries of your project within the categories of 6 to 13 and 14 through 22 for a total of 4 entries. So you can submit in the home itself in the architectural design. You could submit it for best media room, best wine room, and or best kitchen. And that way we'll then be choosing from the entries submitted for custom home of the year, but you do need to submit into 4 categories to be eligible. Now, let's just take a peek at, oops, pardon me, some of the sample, let me go through the entry process first. First off, this is the entry process. Now I've reviewed the categories. I know that I have made my list of where I'm going to submit my entries, and I'm ready just to put forth the entry application and get my entry fees. So I go to the entry form, and I've already propagated into this form so you can see just what I've done. I've selected my entry fee at the top, and I've gone down from the drop-down menu and I've chosen my category. I'm going to enter into modern contemporary home. The name of my project is, you can put in there, that is the project or the home name or the candidate name. So the name of my project is the Parish Residence. My builder name was ABC Builders. My associate name was my architect. It was DCF Architect. If you don't have an associate that you want to credit, you can leave that blank or put in NA. However, the fields are sensitive, so something does need to be submitted. So if there's not someone you want to recognize, just put in NA. You're going to put in the location. Now, I'm also going to be submitting my website. So I've chosen from my drop-down menu, best website. I've put in the project name is ABC Builders website. Company name, it's ABC Builders. I do have an ad agency I want to credit. So I'm going to put in agency. My ad agency's name is Super Smart, and I'm located in Dallas, Texas. I'm also going to submit my project manager because he's amazing. So I've chosen that from my drop-down menu. My project manager is Shane Parish. He works for ABC Builders. I do not have an associate name because it's not required for this because I've already mentioned it. So I put in NA, and my location is Dallas, Texas. Now, if I wanted to submit another project, I could click add another project. And from the drop-down menu, you can see you can choose from any of the categories here and add your entry. Now, if you decide, I don't want to submit for best closet, as you can see here, there's an X. You can click that off and it will remove the entry. So that is very easy. So if you want to adjust this, you can do this as one transaction, or you can come back and do this as multiple transactions as you wish. However, I do want to make it clear that once an entry application is submitted, no refunds will be issued. So choose these categories carefully and make your selections. Now, as you can see, it's auto-totaled my entries. I have $375. I completed my company information with my contact information. The email here is very important. That's the email where the email confirmation is going to come back to the entrant. I put in my billing information at the bottom, and I've chosen to pay by check. If you choose to pay by credit card, it will auto-propagate so that you can put in your credit card information. I click submit, and I get a success page. Congratulations, thank you for your submittals. Please download the materials for the entries to include your corresponding categories. If you have any questions, you can contact Lisa Parish. Hey, that's me. So now I can choose to click here, and this will open up a Dropbox, and it will download the materials. There are separate entry forms for each one of our category types. We have our professional achievement category. I'd need that for my project manager. I am also going for the New Home Specialty Award, so I would download that. And I'm also doing the marketing because I'm doing my website. So I would download those forms. So in my email, I've just received my confirmation. And it looks like, I'll show you this, one second. Stop share. Here is my email that has just been received online. It says, thank you for your submittals. I've chosen to pay by check, so I'm going to send my check to Misty with my memo ARC Awards entry fees. And as you can see, I have my entry serial numbers now. This is a blind judging. The judges only know your entry based on the entry number provided. So my Parish residence contemporary home will be known as 11-1012. My website is 231013, and my project manager is 281014. My grand total is $375. My materials are due by June 30th. And again, I have where I can download my forms. Once my materials are ready, I'm going to submit them via file sharing services, Dropbox, Hightail, anything, to, and I'm going to send the link to entries at Team PMP. And if I have questions, I'm going to call Lisa. Now, for images, here's the very important information regarding your images. You're going to save your images at 300 DPI. They should be sized to 1800 pixels wide. Normally, they're 1800 pixels wide by 1200 pixels high. And we like them to only be in JPEG format only. Floor plan should be saved as a high resolution PDF. If they have multiple pages, make them scrollable. And files should be named with your entry number. As you can see, here's the entry number. So it would be 0. This is a sample entries. Mine would be saved as 281013, 281014, and so on. So now going back, I'm going to show you a few samples of what that might look like. So let's come back here. Right. So I have in the call for entries, if I want to see what a sample entry looks like, I can go and find a sample website. So let's take a peek at what that's going to look like. As you can see, this is literally an entry submitted via Dropbox to us. So you can see how it's numbered. Here's their entry number, 241165, _1_2_3. The reason that those underscores and those numbers are important is that is the way the images are going to be shown to the judges on screen. So it's very important that you organize your materials so that they're easily to be found and digested. Now, what they've provided to us here are their 8 images and their form with their statement. On that statement, they'll have the first page of the form is the information on who should be credited. And on the second page of the form, they'll have their details. They'll have details such as their location, their target market, and then they'll explain what they did and why they did it. And so, for instance, for this one, they were telling the story of the fact that they were rebranding and why they chose to create this in a clean, simple fashion. Now, for instance, I wanted to give you the information that for the websites, the judges view the website based on, they actually view it live. They are looking at the website and the statement is being read to them. Now, for your product categories, you're going to see that they're going to go back and we're going to see them with images and they'll be shown to them. So for instance, here's a specialty room. And what they've provided to us here, they've given us the images and they've given us their floor plan and their project information form. So at this time, what I'm going to give you is an idea of how the judges view the categories in real time. So I'm going to let Shane share his screen. I'm going to stop. Shane, if you take it away, I'd like to show them a whole house entry from another awards program we just recently produced. And this will give you an idea of what the judges see and how it's viewed in real time.
73.
Okay, I don't see your form. I don't see your page. Oh. Can I see you? Did you hit share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's up and running.
Oh, there we go. Forgive me. I have too many screens open. Okay. All right. So here we go. So this, as you can see, this is 2273. And what they've done here, this is a whole house remodel. On the very bottom, the last images at the bottom are their before images. And at the very top, you'll see they have their afters. We'll show you a couple different ways people have approached it, but it's your choice on how you want to present the entry. So as it comes up immediately, it comes up in an overview with all of the 8 images shown to the judges. And then we'll go in and I will read the statement to them so they can see and understand it. So Shane, I'm going to go ahead and do this as though we're doing it in the judging. So this is entry number 2273. Starting at the very top, you're going to show them the befores first. Okay, so this project is located in Bellevue, Washington. It's 4,590 square feet. It is a corporate executive who wanted to remodel their home. So it says the objective of this remodel was setting an established older neighborhood with many mid-century modern type homes was to keep the contextual architecture in line with the surrounding homes. The HOA restricted adding a second story, so maximum views and square footage were solved by vaulting the great room ceiling, adding large windows and reconfiguring the basement and main floor. The exterior limestone was removed to accommodate the new layout from the original era of the home to inspire the new materials. Natural walnut and light colored cabinets were grounded by using the white plank oak floors and muted tiles. Updated lighting and a mix of chrome and black hardware with natural birch plywood slab doors completed the modern aesthetic. The result is a simple, sophisticated design aimed to complement the beautiful setting and views of the site. And Shane, can you show us the example of their floor plan for us? Normally the floor plans are given to the judges so they can view them on their own screen, but we wanted to show you a good idea of what these should look like. Now I will note on this entry, they have made one crucial mistake that normally is taken off, and that is they have their name on the floor plan. I left it on here to show you that if that would come in, we would have to edit that. We would take the names. This is a blind judging. Even though the judges are not from the area, we do want to make sure that it is credible and we do not have names associated with materials on screen. All right. Can you show us our next entry, Shane? Is that 2663? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so this one's a little different the way they approached it. They decided to do a before, after type of situation in the organization of materials. So let me tell you the story of this entry. This entry is located in Cherry Hills, Colorado. The square footage of the house is 7,830 square feet with a 960 square foot pool house. This home was originally built in 1937, and the homeowners have a special connection with the home, dating back to when the husband visited with his father as a child. Their vision and marching orders for us were to fix the parts that weren't working while creating design that was both sensitive to the historic architecture and bringing the home to this century. The layout is undoubtedly quirky, with a kitchen far off the great room, a separated upper level with 2 bedrooms reaching from one staircase and 2 bedrooms from a different staircase. The garage that can be farther from the kitchen, and the primary suite is separated from the rest of the home by a conservatory, which is a glass-filled room which serves as a husband's study. In spite of, or because of its quirks, it all comes together, giving this eclectic home a fresh life. Outdoors, the previous pool was located off the primary suite, off to one side of the property, and inconveniently encouraging wet kids to run through our bedroom. The new pool and pool house were situated to tie in with the outdoor living spaces and line up perfectly to allow the new kitchen and sunroom to overlook the open up to them. Can we see the floor plans there, Shane, so we can take a peek? So as you can see, they were able to give us a before and after on the same pages, which is really helpful if you have that availability to understand how they reconfigured the spaces. And of course, if you have the original 1937 plans, that's pretty incredible. Now the judges will now take the time and they will really take a moment to consider, understand how the plan works and how it was adapted. They may ask us to go back and show the pictures multiple times to get an idea of where things are and how they orient to the site.
The floor plans will be on their own computer.
But the floor plans, again, will be on their own computer. So they may be looking at the floor plans and then seeing the images on screen. We do encourage discussion. The judges are a builder, an architect, a remodeler, from outside the other markets that have been entrants in their own space, so that they have an understanding of what an entry should look like, what they're looking at, and they've been winners within their own region. All right, Shane, why don't you show us 2773? All right, so this is another submittal where they gave us just the before and afters again. Before is on the top, 4 befores on the top, and the 8 afters. So this is located in Petaluma, California. And this is a 3,403 square foot home. This historic home was built in 1893 by its owner on an 8-acre poultry farm. For 100 years, the family lived in the residence and it sat vacant after it was sold in 2005. The effects of centuries worth of wear and tear took its noticeable toll. As a result, the entire site was developed and subdivided into 18 lots. The 1,500 square foot 19th century home would need to be updated for today's lifestyle. With respect to the original building envelope and traditional features, the homes were restored and additional square footage was added to accommodate the basement and expansion of the attic. The first level now contains living space, den, kitchen, dining, and master bedroom for single level living. In the basement, 2 bedrooms and a separate guest suite with its own living room, bedroom, and bath, with a detached 2-car garage now sit at the rear of the home. You'll notice that they decided to add little captions for the befores and afters. That is absolutely up to you, not required, but if you'd like to submit those are completely fine. And they gave us their floor plan. Nice, clean floor plan. They decided to give us a little color coding and furniture placement. That's not necessary, but it's also very helpful at times. So that is literally how the judges will view. That is 3 entries in a real category from a recent award show. Just to give you an idea of how the entries are viewed, real time, how they hear the statement, and then how the floor plans are viewed. So we wanted to give you that opportunity to see that. Now I am going to go back to, I have to just back my ARC page, my samples. So now that you've submitted your entries and you're gathering your materials together and you're going to get ready to put your entries together, we wanted to kind of go through some of the elements that you should be aware of and some ideas. First off, there's new categories, there's new requirements. So you definitely want to plan ahead, make a checklist, and get your photography together. So we'll want to also consider your statements, think about some common mistakes, and then consider what we're going to talk about, what you just saw, what's going to happen in the judging. So photography, as we mentioned, get the best that you can, tell your story, good photography can help you. Bad photography can hurt you. I always like to say that, but get the best that you can afford and tell the story. Focus the photography on things that you want to show off to the judge, and but try to stay away from emphasizing furniture. You want to actually show the room. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Remember, if you're showing a whole house remodel, we need to see the exterior of the house. Go through your plan, go through your photography, select those photos. They're going to showcase the best. If you have a photo that you're worried about, you're like, oh, I need 8 photos. You don't need 8 photos. If you have 7 photos that work great, that's great. Don't run out there and take that 8th photo with your iPhone. That could actually hurt you more than help you. So I always like to say that. Again, for the statements, here's one of the biggest things that I will tell you regarding statements. If you lay your images out, as we just saw, and you write the statement to the images and point things out, either in bullet points or even saying, in slide 1, you'll notice this, in slide 2, you'll notice that. It'll help the judge to focus their attention on what they're seeing and what they're supposed to be focusing on. So it's really, really important to lay those photos out, decide at what order you want to present them to. I always like to say it's best to walk the judges through the house as though we were there together. That way it's easy to digest and to understand. Tell them why things worked, why they didn't work, why you did what you did. Also, please, if you're going to submit multiple things, let's say you're going for that custom home or remodeler of the year, boilerplate statements where you write one statement for all 3 entries. Those never end well. Usually what will happen is the judge goes, well, I didn't get any new information and now I'm frustrated. So stay away from those. Even if you only write a very short statement, make sure it's for the entry that you're submitting. Again, organize those materials as though you're walking through the home. Remember, they're going to be viewed in the top, they're in a grid of top 4, bottom 4, and then goes down to 12. So organize those materials. Marketing statements. Now, if we're going to be talking about your marketing categories, let's talk about if we're doing a website or if we're doing a video. Talk about what your intention was, who the market was, how did you reach them? How did they find this information? What were you really trying to do and how it was implemented? Also, any details or results is very helpful. If you placed an ad in D magazine and it ran for 2 months, but you picked up 5 new clients from that magazine or you know about it, that's the win. That's what we want to know. Or if you're social media, you started doing an incredible campaign and you got multiple followers, increased your presence, that's the kind of information and detail they're looking to understand. It's all about what you did, why you did it, and how well it worked. Again, floor plans, nice, clean floor plans, no names, no plan names should be included. If you have nice online plans, that work just fine. And if it's two-story, if you can have it on the same page, that's helpful. I'll give you, this is a good sample where we have a first floor and a second floor on the same page. Big no-no, working drawings. Working drawings are very difficult to read for a judge. I mean, they will not disqualify. We do not disqualify any entries. First of all, I will tell you that straight up. No entry is disqualified. Every entry, you've paid your entry fee. You have the right to be viewed by the judges. However, I will tell you, the judges, if you frustrate them, that's on you. So take your time, give it to them in an easy, digestible manner. Again, organize your materials, tell your story, how you'd like your materials to be told. That's your opportunity. You can set these entries. If you want to do it where it's a before and after, it's very helpful in the remodeling categories to be able to see that. If you have the opportunity where you have the exact same angle, hey, that's just a win. If you don't have it, it's okay. We understand. Now it's time to submit our materials. We're going to put our elements together. Now, this is where the good news is. You're not going to be uploading any materials into any website this year. You're going to be organize your materials in an entry folder. And it can say ABC Homes ARC entries on the name of the folder. Within that folder, what you're going to do is you're going to organize it by those entry serial numbers. As you can see here, the 01 is the category number, and the 4 digits are the numbers that were submitted or created by the entry system when you submitted. Within that folder, you can, yes, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt you. We're not seeing anything on your screen, just your backdrop. Are you showing?
Oh, forgive me. You're not seeing. Let me get that for you. I apologize.
Well, I think we're still on screen. We were still on screen share. Yeah.
Here, are you guys seeing this?
We are now.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, so I apologize. Let me go back. Give you a few things here. All right. The statements, right to your images. Okay. Marketing statements or marketing tips. I just want to give you an idea of what images might look like for marketing category. The floor plans, nice clean floor plans. No working drawings. This is the before and after look of how it would appear. I apologize, guys. I thought you were seeing that. Forgive me. Now, here's your materials. This is what a sample entry folder would look like. So what you would do is you would, within your master folder, you would have all of your entries and they would be numbered with your entry serial number. Within that, you can name them with the name of the project and or the category. It doesn't matter either way. We're really looking for that entry serial number. That's what's very, very important. Within the folder, you'll have your team form, your floor plan, and your images sequenced with how you would like those to appear on screen. The 1 through 8 or 1 through 12 is very important. The entry number, dash, and the sequence number, then the underscore with the sequence number is how we'd like you to organize. Once you have that together, you are then going to get that ready. You're going to put it in a Dropbox, Google Drive, FTP, Hightail, whichever method that you find that you like. And you're going to send a link to entries@teampmp.com. That'll be received by Stephen in our office. Stephen will review your entries, make sure everything looks good. He will send you back an email and say, thank you so very much. Your entries have been received. If he has something missing, like he's missing a floor plan, or if something doesn't seem right, he will email you and let you know, hey, listen, I seem to be missing your entry number 1014 for your website. Will that materials be coming later? Are you sending it separately? Where is that? We check in every entry to make sure that we have everything gathered together and before we begin judging. Again, remember that entries are non-refundable. If you do decide to cancel an entry, you can actually replace it. Let's say you decide, I was going to enter best video, but I decided I don't have the materials together. I'm going to switch that to my website. And that's not a problem. It's an easy fix. You just email me, Lisa, I'm switching my entry for entry number 1013 to this website. What can you send me a new number? I will send it right back to you. You're off on your way. Simple solutions. I just want to let you know that there's that opportunity. Now, we went through this pretty quickly, but I do want to go through, these are some of the things that you want to make note of. Follow the instructions. At all times, go back, read the instructions. If you have questions, contact me. Label those materials carefully. Remember how those entries are going to be viewed by the judges. Put yourself in their shoes and understand that. Make everything easily digestible and tell that story. Don't normally, give them the why, the how, the what, the difficult points, and point out those things that they should be aware of. Don't overthink those formatting, just follow the rules. And again, know your audience. You're talking to somebody that's also in your field, talking to someone who understands. Explain what you did and why you did it and how you were successful. Proofread, read it to somebody else. I actually say one of the biggest things for a marketing statement is read it out loud to someone else and show them the images and see if it makes sense to them. They may help you. They may edit. They may say, hey, you didn't point out the fact that we had to move here, do this or manage that. So those are some of the elements that are going to help you to stand out for the ARC Awards this year. Any questions that we have? I'm going to go back.
Yeah. I'm unmuted. I had a couple quick questions. And this may not pertain to the previous ARC Awards entry, but is that time zone for the entry Central Time? I remember
it will be.
I was trying to enter one, and it was like on the East Coast, and I missed it by an hour.
Yeah, and just to let you know that is 11:59 that night is Central Time is what we're trying to shoot for. We'd really like that. We shouldn't have any issues with anything happening this year.
Okay. And before, I think we had a deadline for signing up for the category and a second deadline for getting all your materials in. Is this just one deadline for everything?
It's just one deadline. And so if I actually have had people where I don't suggest this, but they've started their entry at 11 o'clock at night. They get their entry serial numbers back. They renumber all their files and they send us the link within the next 15 minutes. It's not suggested.
And I think you mentioned it. If we decide, oh man, I edited that picture wrong, I want to rework it and resubmit it, we can play with those folders until the end.
Absolutely. And here's what I would say is don't send it until you're absolutely done with what you're ready to do. But if for some reason you submitted the day of the entry deadline, you're like, okay, it's June 30th, here's my materials. But then the next morning you're like, hey, you know what? I really wanted to fix that entry number 3. You can send us an email and go, hey, listen, I updated my entry here. So could you re-download this for us? Because we're downloading as we're going. So it's, yes, but if you let us know, we'll do our best.
Yeah, it could be something as simple as you kicked it out at 3,000 by 2,400 instead of 18 by 12. Okay.
Yeah. And normally, just to let you know on that one, if they do come in and they're sized too high, what we'll do is we'll just resize it. But if it comes in too small, we'll reach out and go, hey, this is only at 700 pixels wide. It's pixelating pretty badly. Do you have it in a high resolution?
Or Topaz has an enlarger that works great.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's something that disappeared last year, and Misty knows I applied for the wrong category last year. There is no conceptual design again this year, is there?
Not this year. We do not have that on the boards or conceptual.
All righty. And in the judging, I've judged a couple times before. So the judges will have control over looking at the floor plan, but in terms of the pictures, you guys will control the horizontal, you'll control the vertical and what they see.
Absolutely.
So they really can't go back and look at it in detail. So the pictures need to speak for themselves in a couple seconds.
We go back multiple times. So what we normally do is we get through as a first pass, as a first look, first impression. Then the second pass, we'll go through and I read the statement to them and we're going through them individually. And then the judges have discussion on, they may say, hey, listen, show me that kitchen again, or bring me back up that bathroom. And we'll spend up to 5 minutes on anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes on a category. And so they'll sit there and digest it as they're looking at the floor plan. It's just, we're bringing it up for them so that they don't have to manage it.
Right. When I was doing it, sometimes we look at something and go, yeah, but this other one, let's go back and look at that one.
We'll do that too.
Okay, you can do that. I'm just trying to get a feel for, is it first impression and done? And then you got the order in which they're seeing comes into play too. So by the judges. And what else? Oh, can any category have a video attached to it too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, any category can have that.
And I noticed when you were going through, it said .mov or QuickTime. You don't take MP4s?
MP4s are fine. Yeah, that's fine. MP4s, .moves, QuickTime, anything that you have of that nature.
All right. See, I actually listened to you. You did a great presentation. Thank you.
Your questions are amazing. You have the best ones, and you wrote them down too.
Well, I wrote some stuff that I would need to know, but I did write down my questions. You know, I'm old. You know, what happened 2 minutes ago? I have no idea.
We call that experienced.
Yeah, send link number. Okay. No, it's pretty much telling a story, and on the statement, you'll be reading them to them, but chances are they won't be reading it themselves. So it'd probably be a good idea if I maybe even recorded myself reading it. How does it sound? And we need something that you can read, that you won't get tongue-tied reading it with words that long.
Thank you. Yes. Very, very elaborate architectural words are very difficult for my tongue to wrap around. But yes, if you want to if you want to read it out loud to yourself or read it to somebody else and make it easy, that's helpful.
So we should use a thingamajig instead of, other terminology. Got it. Okay. All right. I think that's the questions I have. Yeah. Okay.
At any time, that's the other thing is at any time, if anybody comes up with questions or if they need other samples or if they're putting their entries together and they are like confused about anything, Misty and my email is there. Please reach out to us. From our previous session that we did last week, I actually had 5 people reach out with specific questions and or send me sample entries. Happy to review those at any time. Just so that you know, we run 18 different awards programs around the country. So this is 100% what we do. Yeah. And so we see a lot of entries every year. So it's our intention to make sure that we help you to be able to get recognized.
Oh, another question just popped in my mind. I'm kind of like that. So you're limited to 8 photos, correct?
Up to 12 total.
Okay. If you submit a video, does that take the place of one of the?
It does not. It can be extra. It's what we call our extra. So actually, Shane, can you go back and show me your screen again? I'm just going to show you where the how that extra
and so we hold the videos to 45 minutes or less and we're good to go, right?
40, yeah, we like them to be maybe 2 minutes. That would be helpful. Yeah, because you can imagine as we're going through these with the judges that day, it's a lot to go through, and you've been through it judging. It's just the amount of effort we go through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shane, do we see? I have to stop and then you can go. Forgive me.
Okay.
I just wanted to be able to give you.
So for instance,
I'm not seeing you on screen.
Okay, now that one's got 15.
Oh, got it.
So this is
there we go. So for instance, what we had for this entry here, they gave us the befores and afters, and then they gave us extra pictures. Okay. And they were like, we're just going to throw these in here. Now, to make it fair, we tell people there are 12 pictures that are going to be shown to the judges. Now, if we have those extra pictures hidden, and if they say, hey, listen, they mentioned something, can we see it? We'll show it to them. So you're in that XP folder, that's where your video is going to run. And so we'll say, and you might even want to put in your statement, see our video to learn more. And then we'll hit the video for them to play.
And you want the floor plans in PDF format, and that way they don't take away from the allotted photos. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to decide that you have 11 great pictures and you want your video to be the 12th one, that as we go through, then we get to the video and then it will play out of here. You can do that as well. That's your choice.
Okay. All righty. So either way.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right. Well, if anybody has any questions, again, feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help. It is it's our intention to make this process easy for you and to help you get recognized. So at any time, let us know. Misty, anything from you that anybody should know about ARC?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. I think the one question that I've gotten so far has been about payment. This is a different system than what we've done in the past. So you do have to pay for your entries in advance. So please make sure that whatever you're submitting, you are sure you're going to submit, because you do not get refunds for anything that you apply to submit. Other than that, I think you covered everything.
All right. Well, we hope everybody has a wonderful day. And if you need anything else, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you.